Welcome back to another episode of High Levelism. Do me a favor, man, on your way in the door, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're feeling the content, and share some with your people. I really appreciate it. I'm going to get right into it. Today I want to talk about the skills you don't have, but the ones you know you need. That gap between where your wallet is and where you know it needs to be. We often talk about this as a money problem, a job problem, but that's just the surface. Underneath, it's a crisis of utility. It's the quiet fear that in a world that runs on digital trades and solve problems, you don't have a real tool in your hand. You don't have a craft that the world values and pays for. That feeling isn't just about income, it's about identity. It eats at the core of what it means to be a provider, a builder, and a man who could take a raw problem and shape it into a solution. We try to solve this by chasing shortcuts, that get-rich-quick scheme, the fast course that promises mastery in a weekend. But a shortcut to a skill is a shortcut to nothing. It gives you an illusion of competence without the substance. And without the substance, you have no real confidence. You have no authority. You're just pretending. And the market, your clients, and your own spirit will always know the difference. Here's the truth we must reframe. Building a skill is not a career move. It's a spiritual apprenticeship. Think of the old parable of the talents. A master gives his servants resources, coins, in that story, and leaves. When he returns, he doesn't ask how they felt about the money. He asks what they did with it. Which servant traded with it, worked with it, made it grow. That servant was called good and faithful. The one who buried it out of fear was called wicked and lazy. Your mind, your time, and your attention, these are all your modern talents. Your current skills are your coins. To leave them buried, to not trade them, to not actively work to increase them, is not just a financial mistake, it's a spiritual failure of stewardship. You're ignoring the gift you were given to cultivate. This is why the daily work of learning feels so hard and so sacred. When you sit down to truly learn a new software, a language of code, a method of sales, or a physical trade, when you fight through the frustration and the confusion, you are not just absorbing information, you're answering a call. You're entering into an apprenticeship with the craft itself. The craft becomes your silent teacher. Its resistance is your curriculum. The discipline to return to it daily, especially when it's boring or difficult, is your form of devotion. You are proving to yourself and to God that you can be trusted with more. You're building the capacity to hold a bigger vision. This path is the antidote to the shame of the gap. Shame tells you to hide what you don't know. The apprenticeship demands that you expose it, confront it, and chip away at it bit by bit every single day. It turns your weakness into the gym. Every moment of your confusion is now a rep. Every small thing you figure out is a new muscle fiber growing. You stop being a man who lacks skills and start becoming a man who is skilled at learning. That meta skill, the ability to sit in the fire of not knowing and stay until you figure it out, that is the master skill. That's what makes every other skill possible. So stop looking at the mountain of what you don't know. Pick up one tool, just one. Commit to the mundane daily practice of it. Let the craft mentor you. Let the struggle sanctify you. Build something useful, no matter how small it is. Because in that act of focus, faithful building, you're doing much more than earning a dollar. You're reclaiming your utility. You're honoring your gifts. You're stepping into the role you were meant to fill. Not just as a consumer of the world's offerings, but as a competent creative builder of your own. That is where the real wealth begins. Not with the windfall, but with the skill earned in the quiet that no one can ever take you from. It's your boy, man.